So
Yo, what's up, guys? So it's the real JTW. I'm here with.
IAMThreeFive, what's going on, y'all?
So
You
where
know what I
you
mean?
from? Where you from, man?
I'm based out of North Carolina right now. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, so basically the East Coast.
East Coast. That's good. Yeah. What's it like down there? I mean, is there a lot of struggles down there? Are you out of that? What's it like right now living down there?
It's different, man. Right now it's actually snowing. This is like the first time they get snow, like, here in North Carolina, like in
Uh,
years. Like places like this, they get snow every 4 to 5 years. It's not a yearly occurrence, you know what I'm saying? So people are
right.
freaking out and shit like that about it. But like, I love North Carolina, man. It's very different from Atlanta. It's way more quiet, way more slower, way more peaceful,
Yeah.
very different. Like the states are different countries. Having lived in three different states now, I must say each state is a fucking country, man.
Yeah, I gotta ask. I've been to North Carolina because my grandma lived. My great grandma lived there.
Yeah.
So is it kind of isolated? I know different parts of areas. It does seem a little more
Yeah,
isolated down there. Do you deal with
yeah.
that?
So where I am is in the Research Triangle. It's pretty populated over here. It's very like all the resources, all the money and shit, because the capital is right there, which is Raleigh. So they put like a lot of the resources. It's like circled in this area. When you leave this area, you'll see a very different place.
Right.
It's here
Yeah.
and then there's there.
So, from where you were before to where you are now, do you think you were more active, like musically, or where did you feel like you found your ground as far as like did the isolation help, like in a sense? I
Yeah,
guess I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's a really great question. It absolutely did, man, because this is the type of place where if you have a craft or some sort of skill set that you're trying to hone into, there's not a lot of distractions to distract you and pull you from that. Like coming from Atlanta, there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of partying, there's a lot of going out, there's a lot of side things happening that could pull you away real easily. Here, you get more of a space and to just really just sit back and like really get into it. That's
Yeah,
special.
I like that. I know going through your discography, I mean, you're a very consistent artist. You drop albums, you drop EPs, mixtapes.
Thank you, man.
Uh,
Thank
how long is the how long have you been doing music?
I've been doing it since I was about 16. So about more than half my life since high school. But like as far as doing it professionally, I'd say about 20, 21 years old. That's when I started recording like mixtapes and putting them out and like physically pressing them and all that before like the internet took off and shit like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Back in the
yeah.
physical era, a lot of people can't recall the physical era, man. This is before
Oh, I know. I mean, I swear,
the
bro. Like
physical era, man.
I'm over here. Like, why isn't CDs a thing, man? Like, I don't know. I kind of live in this generation where they should be like still. I mean, you can't even go to a CD shop anymore. It's literally like they got like a
Right.
digital card. I don't know. Like, well, I'm not gonna buy Adele's album on a digital card, like, or just I don't know. It's everything's just so weird. The way the world is,
Yeah.
changed. How old are you right now?
I'm 39, man. I just turned 39 a few days ago, man.
So see, you've been in the industry for so long. I mean, I've been in the industry for like, I don't know, 15, 18 years or so, but I wasn't active all the time. Were you active that whole time? Like, I
I
mean, from
wasn't,
the
man.
time you were 16?
Yeah, there's a time period where I walk away from the game around 2009, and I don't come back until around 2019. So, yeah, man. And in 2010, I think I did two songs in that. I called it quits, and I didn't come back until 2019. So, yeah, I was going for a 9 year period, man. Like doing other shit, going to school, volunteering. I went overseas and shit like that. Got to live abroad, like get to
Yeah.
understand more about myself than just music. You know what I mean? I'm now that I look back at it, I'm very happy that I did that because a lot of people, they don't do that. They just like do the music grind, and I'm like, there's more to it than you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about. I know you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think music is just like this doorway to more things. I mean, even like when you look at the mainstream, they're over here, they got their fragrance line that comes out. Maybe they write a
Yep.
book. I
Yep.
mean, maybe they
Yep.
star in a movie. There's so many opportunities in the music business that people don't understand. If they're just making music and this is for
Right.
fun, like I don't make music for fun. I got to a point
Right.
where it's like I enjoy making music, but I like there's a thing when you're doing this for fun, and then when you're like actually trying to leave a legacy. So I got to ask, what's your goal? Are you trying to leave a legacy, or are you kind of just doing this like as a more of just a
Right.
remedy of like is it a hobby or is it
Right.
something you want
No,
to?
no, man. You're asking you're asking damn good questions, man. Like, my wife, I talk to her about it all the time, and I say it to her. I'll say like, look, like this is my thing with it. I don't see myself being famous amongst everybody, but I always saw myself within hip hop. They know me and they respect me very
Right.
much in hip hop because from day one, I don't know what it is, but everybody who comes across my music, who actually has the chance to come across, they fuck with it, man. But like, it's always like real hip hop people, like DJs,
Yeah.
producers. It's certain people. It's not the passive listener. It's never the passive listener. The passive
Yeah.
listener doesn't like me. No, and they're not gonna like the people like us who are coming, with that genuine connection type of music, So yeah, man. So I would say my thing is again, I'm known in hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm known within the genre and well respected within the genre. Like famous beyond like we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't ever put limits on it, man.
Yeah.
Because
And
you got the world listening to you.
yeah, and I mean, even being at your age, 39, I mean, like, there's no. I mean, look at Snoop Dogg. He's still putting it out. Eminem. I mean,
Hell yeah.
there, I don't know why, like, people, it's the same thing with when you're in a relationship. They're like, you look at age. It's like, yo, this shit's all just a fucking number. We're all gonna die at some
Exactly.
point. So,
Exactly.
um, it's good that you're using your time wisely and staying consistent because most of these artists out here are just not doing it. They're just kind of like I don't
Hmm.
know, I don't know, I don't know what they're doing. I don't fuck with them, bro. Like,
Hmm.
if they're not consistent, they come around when they please, and then you see them unfollowing a lot of people. I hate that, bro. How they do this follow for follow shit. It's like I don't know, bro. I feel like you and me kind of like we do relate on a lot of senses as far as like what we're trying to do, leaving a legacy and just kind of have our name out there, man. You
It's
got
hard.
kid,
It's difficult.
you got kids or anything? I mean, or you
I don't
probably
have kids yet, you
yeah
know. I've had
yeah
kids yet, but I do want kids. I know kids will definitely come
yeah
along eventually, you know what I'm saying? But man, it's just, yeah, man,
yeah
that legacy piece is very, 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 very important. Like we ain't here wasting time. Nah,
yeah.
definitely not.
Well, I'm the same way. I ain't got kids yet either, man. I feel like when the time's right, maybe when I put the pen down, like I mean, I don't see myself doing this forever. I kind of got
Right.
I got an outing plan, and I don't know if you do too. Do you have an outing plan? I mean, is there something you want to like achieve to be like
Right.
let's say you don't make the money, right? Because
Right. Right.
typically
Right.
nobody makes money, right? This
Mhm.
this is a deep question, but do you see yourself at some point where you're like, all right, like this is where my ending point is? Like, do you have like a certain amount of albums? You got a
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
amount of performances?
That's a damn good again. Wow, that's a great question. I've never been asked that one before. No, I think my wife has asked me that, and I was like, I think about it, and I'm like, I already quit for 9 years. I think the as a creative, I'm still coming along. I think that my potential it's barely realized, and until I
Yeah,
believe that it's been realized, I'm not ready to make that call. But when I do believe that it has been realized, then I will make that call.
yeah,
You
and
know,
I
whenever the
think,
fuck that is. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no, for real. Like, I think I swear, bro. Like, I don't know if you're in the same way, but like, there's just different segments of our life that we want to get like put out in different, like whether it's like speaking on politics or whether it's like maybe our thoughts on religion or just trauma from the street life or whatever the sense might be. It's like there's always like an outlet to what we're trying to do, and it's like there's like 1,000 subjects that we want to hit, but it's like we can't just do it in one song. So I bet you feel the same way. I don't know. Do you?
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, like it's so at this age, I never feel like, what do I rap about? I'm like, nah, like you've already seen so much shit and lived through so much life. The problem is you don't have enough time. sometimes too, like even make that amount of material, like because it's sitting there waiting because it's stories that haven't been told. It's things
Yeah.
that haven't been told, like and still, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like I guess I live for that element of it too. You know what I mean? Because you're telling your story. You're the embodiment, the audio embodiment of the representation of you while you were alive,
Right.
or at
Right.
least for a certain part of your life. You know what I
Yeah, no, exactly.
mean?
One thing I do want to ask, kind of going back in track. So the 9 years that you were not doing music, I got to ask, how was your mental state of mind? Like, were you more happy doing music and doing what you love, or were you? I mean, did you feel like you walked away from the music for a minute for the right reasons? Like, was this a backup plan the whole time? Because it is good to have a backup plan.
Yeah, definitely, I wanted a backup plan because I saw like a lot of shit that happens to people who just put all their eggs in that one basket. I always told myself I see myself as a successful person with or without music. Like I never leaned on that. I was like, no, like
Yeah.
that was part of it. And in them years, I didn't really miss it like that, man, because it's a lot of bullshit that you put up with and I was out here just doing other things, man, like doing other things that I
Yeah.
never did before, like, and which build your character and build you into the person that you become, like,
Right, right. Yeah,
yeah.
I look up to that because it's like so many of these musicians, they just throw everything away, and it's like, oh, you did one show, whoop de doo, and then now you got 300 set, and then half the time when you go and ask these artists is how it went, like a year later, oh, I only did two out of the 300. It's like, fuck, what went wrong? You always got to be ready for the worst case scenario. I don't know if you've been scammed. I've
Right.
been scammed on promotion. I've been scammed
Oh
on
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, 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 yeah. Of course,
cover
of course.
art, marketing.
Bro,
I
if you
mean,
if you are an artist and you say you've never been scammed, you are lying.
yeah.
You
Well,
are lying. You never played in the field.
exactly.
For
And
real, boy.
it's like
You play
taking
on the field, man.
chances. Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah,
this
you're
shit.
gambling. The whole thing is a gamble.
I mean, bro,
It's a
I
gamble,
don't even.
man.
You do
It's
gotta take
insanity.
chances
It's
because you get record deals,
insanity, man.
right? You get record
Hmm.
deals right in front of you, and you're like, "Fuck, should I take this? Should I drop everything I'm doing right?" Like I've had it happen so many times. That's why I went like me and my label Soul Burner Records. Like we built that shit together. Like I think it's better, like as an independent artist, to build like an independent label, not to sign to a
Yeah,
big label. I
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
because I
How
mean
did that?
you
How did that begin? How did that relationship begin with you and Soulburn? Like, how did all that come together?
So I just was like posting on SoundCloud, and like I wasn't making a lot of music at the time because I didn't have a lot of resources. I was working with the wrong guy. I was kind of doing stuff solo, mixtape wise. And then I finally put out a mixtape, and I had this song called Shattered. It just went viral. And then he was on some kind of platform. I don't know if you heard of Repost Exchange
Yeah, of course, of
or,
course. I've used that before.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like I think he was using it at the time or something, or he found me on like I hit like SoundCloud Weekly. I don't know, something happened, but like he reached out to me, and I don't know what it was. It was just the way he was wording, and motivating me. He's like, I want to work together. And I had this happening a lot, but it was just like something about this just felt, sometimes like I said, you got to take chances, bro. Like you
yeah,
really
yeah,
got to take chances.
yeah.
But
You do, you do.
it's a scary thing to do as well because you don't know who to trust, and then when if you do find the right, you can build the ground. I mean, bro, you could fucking just take the world, and like people don't understand. Everybody around us doesn't motivate us either. Like, yeah, you've got a wife, I got a wife, we a loved one, but it's like, the, like it, only we know what true happiness is within ourselves. Like we can't
Right.
go and ask them to motivate us. You know what I mean?
No,
I don't
no,
know if
no,
you're in the
no.
same. Are you in the same shoes? Like
Yeah,
where
of
we
course, of
you?
course. It got to be self-driven. It got to be like very personal. Like
Yeah.
it's extremely, it's something that you're living for, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, because I gotta ask. So, like, kind of going off of that subject line, were you always careful with who you shared your music with? Like, because there's people you could trust. Do you feel the same way? Like, do you feel just everybody just reminisces as soon as they hear it. I mean, what's your idea as far as like keeping some of this
Yeah.
shit to yourself and then letting the world know when it's time? I mean, what's your thoughts
I
on
mean,
that?
for the most part, like I don't really let anybody like anybody who I work with or anything like that, like on past jobs, current jobs, whatever the case may be, I don't really let too many people know like that. Like you
Yeah,
know, outside of just, the online environment and then of course, doing like a show or something like that, you know.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't really tell most people because I mean, I really don't expect most people to understand it. Like, like I'm like,
yeah.
people
Well,
don't, it's like they looking down on a product that like because the product isn't completely developed yet,
yeah, yeah.
and the product is still in the developing stages and it's coming along, like, and you
Right.
know, people who are
I,
not business minded and don't have brands of their own, they're not going to understand that.
Yeah, and bro, I agree with that. Like, it's like for me, like my family, I don't let a lot of my I don't know if you're the same way, but I just don't let them in on it because it's like they're gonna
Bro,
support me. They're gonna support me no matter what. I don't want that. I want to know that I really got like you really understand what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know
right,
if you feel the same way, but it is a disconnection that we have to deal with. Outside of our fan base, inside our fan, it hurts us, bro. Because it isn't about being judged. It's about like, are you gonna respect me? You know what I mean? You want
right.
respect, right?
Right,
So
right. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I think about that because like my dad, well, my dad passed in like 2018. My dad didn't know that I rapped, bro. Like he never heard like a
yeah,
song. Yeah, my mom knew, but he never knew. Like again, like nah, I don't share it with them like that because I'm like, I know that you're not gonna understand it. You're against it
yeah,
anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well,
like it's whoever rocks with it are the people who are supposed to rock with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you
yeah.
gotta do it for them.
One thing I'll say too. So, do you feel like the music kind of like you? I mean, you obviously wanted to reach the right people, it's so hard, man. I mean, I gotta ask,
Difficult.
what's the biggest struggle as far as keeping it going? I mean, like, do you ever feel like you're just gonna give up, or like what? Like, I want to hear like. Do you battle depression, anxiety, anything that kind of holds you back as a
Definitely.
person outside of the
Definitely.
music to where you're at now,
Definitely. I
bro?
say the depression, anxiety sometimes because like the thing is doing this, you live a very lonely life. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a lonely life because most quote unquote friends or most regular people, normal people, they're not gonna support it and they're not gonna really understand it. They're not gonna understand why you're doing it or and all of that. So, it comes with its own baggage in that arena as well.
Right.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
not easy, not easy, bro, not
Well,
easy.
moving on to the next question. So,
Yeah.
kind of what was your kind of going back in time? Like, what was your childhood? Were you kind of growing up around hip hop, or was there other genres that were pushed onto you that you enjoyed other than
hmm
rap, or what was it always just rap? Rap is your roots, or what?
I
Kind of
mean,
going.
rap, hip hop, definitely the roots. I mean, I was the youngest of three other siblings, and so they had the VHS tapes and they had the like physical tapes, and so you're talking about like when I'm 3, 4, I'm hearing these songs, I'm seeing the artists. So my first memories are overly music driven. Um, so it starts from there and it just keeps on going, basically. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was always something
Yeah,
because these older siblings, like I was 5, they were 10. I'm 10, he's 15, like so. And
yeah,
we're growing up in that time period where like, it's starting to really get out there. Rap is starting to take off, like and little shit like
right.
that. But yeah, so that's where it really came from, from that period. And of course, I love rock music too. I got my favorite bands I listen to and stuff like that. I try to,
Yeah.
keep it diverse as far as what I listen to.
Right, right. Yeah, who's your biggest influence? I mean, as far as like going back off of growing up, who was your biggest influence? I mean, did you have one?
Yeah, I would definitely say Tupac. I mean, and,
Tupac.
yeah, when I was
Yeah,
growing up, like that was he was really big at that time. And then you remember his death, and you remember the years leading right after the death and how it felt like he was still alive. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? All of that, you know what I mean? So definitely Shakur. And I
Yeah.
believe that that's part of the reason why I'm so prolific too and I punch so hard is because I look up to people like that because the
Yeah.
greats are always extremely prolific,
Well,
you know?
they stand behind so much shit, bro. Like I listen to your music, bro,
Yeah,
and like I can tell that you stand behind the real shit that's happening in front of us. It's not like you're fucking just in this world of like, okay, what's gonna go and what's gonna pop. Like, yeah, you might do it once in a while, but like you stick to your roots. You're a true MC. I'll say
thank you.
that. There's
Thank you,
not
man.
many true MCs out there. I put myself more as a category of like musician, where I don't give a fuck what you label me, but like there's real MCs out there, bro, and that's why like I wanted to interview you because it was like you don't come across talent like this, man, where you do get the influences of Tupac. Like I could see a little bit of that in you. I could even see like a little bit of like maybe Biggie or just Easy.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, you have like this
yeah.
whole like I swear, bro, like you might have had the West Coast carrying you, like you know what I mean, carrying your
Well,
like mindset for a second, because bro, like I see a lot of like that, the flow switches, the way you rap, bro. I can tell Tupac was a big influence.
thank you.
Um, Moving on to the next question. So what do you do outside of music? Like, what's your job, or if you wanted to dive into it, outside of the music, what's life like?
Outside of music, man, I was teaching for a few years. Right now, I went back into the hospitality industry. I'm doing that right now. I'm trying to get into the tech industry. That's what I'm doing. Like, trying to
Okay.
understand that, like, along with, obviously making music, like, and not just recording, but like from a production mix master standpoint. Like, I believe in having my own sound, and I believe in, having a fingerprint that that lasts, man. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna listen to it from 30 years from now, and that they're gonna remember what we were working with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
you
that,
know.
man.
Yeah, like,
Uh,
cause no, like it's important, man. I think like cause a lot of people are like saying things like, Pro Tools is the industry standard, or you
mm,
need this and you need that, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I live by this, man.
yeah,
It's not the materials, it's not the things you have, it's your skill set.
yeah. No, really, it
It's your
does
skill
come
set.
down to that. Like, it isn't like a microphone where you go and judge like a microphone. Like obviously you want a pretty decent microphone, but like you can make a mic like a
Yeah.
$300-400 microphone work. You don't need to
Oh
like
yeah.
go in the recording studio. And like that's what I do. I go in the recording studio because I don't have like a big enough space to have a studio. I'm
Yeah.
a little, I'm not the fastest person, bro, at learning. I tried to fuck around with FL Studios about 5-6 years ago before I met my label, and
Yeah.
it's easy because I can go in, I pay. I had to train myself. I don't know if you're like the same way where you just like fuck. I ain't fucking around. As soon as I get in that bitch, it's like I got an hour tops type shit. I don't know. Did you always record in a studio at your house, or did you ever go into like the
Yeah.
studios, like the bigger studios?
Yeah, 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 man. Great question again. I used to pay for studio time. So all my music on my first few mixtapes were all recorded in the studio on a PC in Cubase, and we
Yeah,
were we were rocking with it like that back then. And then when I came back in 2019, that was all do it yourself. Because from there I
yeah,
was like, nah, I'm gonna do this myself. Like, like
yeah,
I'll still pay for, I have, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. Something about doing it myself.
Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
know.
if you can do it yourself, bro, and it works,
Yeah.
like it works for you, and you kind of got the mixing down. I mean, to a T. Like I've heard your music, bro. The mixing is very good. It ain't like
Thank you.
you can tell that you put levels into it. It's not like most mixing you hear like from SoundCloud to Spotify, it's all mid. Like you're not gonna get that top notch quality. And I mean, that's the thing too. Even like when you're building a label and you're every release, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the next level. Like, and I don't know if you feel
Right,
the same way, but like, do you
right.
feel like each time you release a song or you are building a song, is it just getting better or is it getting more like? What's your mindset as far as like, do you just feel like you're just improving every day, or is it like you?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, for example, like last year was the first year that I actually would look at a song, like I pull it up in the DAW and I break it down based on what I want within the song. Like, do I want to start with the verse or do I want to start with the hook? Or do I want to start with that? Do I want to go intro, verse, or do I want to go intro, hook, and then verse? Or do I want to go verse, pre-choral? Like like I got an email because I subscribe to Pro Tools email list. And so
Yeah,
they were breaking down different song structures, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is a
yeah,
cheat code right here." And I looked at them and I broke down my songs differently, like revolutionized shit. Shit sounds different as
yeah.
hell, like because the hook is repeating it instead of going two times, now it's going four times.
Right,
And it
right.
has like a bridge, all of that. So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
it's crazy because I do relate, man. It's like, I mean, you just learn so much. I mean, obviously, I'm not the mixer, but like, I learned a lot about like it's kind of crazy because when you actually like, even if you're not doing this like just all by yourself, or you do have like you got the right team behind you, you get to see and learn. So it's like, are you really are just learning, huh? Like every day, it's like a learn. Like you YouTube and probably tutorials every fucking day. I bet. Like I bet you
Oh
just
yeah,
constantly trying to get that plug in. What's the right
oh
plug in
yeah.
for this? What's the
Yeah, yeah.
right EQ?
I look at shit about equipment that I don't even have yet, and that I know I'm gonna get eventually. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, when I get this, I'll be able to do this, 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 this. But yeah, man, it's just execution. The more you execute, I started in GarageBand in 2019, and then I graduated, quote unquote, to Logic Pro in 2022, and I've been working in that since. And that's how I got my sound. That's how I got my
yeah.
sound. You got to
Well,
it was a gradual progression, like 2 3 years apart, like each time. And you start to understand, once you understand your EQ and you understand your compression and you understand those things,
right.
that's where the music is at. Because all
Yeah,
you're
man.
doing
Hey,
is adjusting frequencies, man, and dB levels and shit like that. I love it. To be honest with you, I love
yeah.
it more than rapping sometimes, man.
Yeah. No, for real, bro. Like, I'm a
That's
bit.
why I
I'm
could never
more.
see myself quitting. There we go. To answer your question, I could
That's
never
what
see.
I
I see
like.
myself. I could see myself being like a 70-year-old engineer, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, bro. Like, it's funny. I enjoy songwriting more than I do. Like, I swear we just have like our own like things that we enjoy more doing. But
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
day, like recording a song and then getting it crisp and getting it to that sound we
yeah.
want, it's just heaven, bro. But
It's
I know we're cut
powerful.
on time, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the last couple minutes. Give me a conclusion on kind of like if there's anything you want to throw out, anything you want to get out about yourself, or what's coming up for 2025. Even into the next year. If
Yeah.
you got plans, just lay it out, man. Let's hear it.
Hell yeah, man. So last night, that's a great question because last night I wrote down my release schedule for this whole year. So I did a certain amount of songs, a big batch last year, and this year those will be my singles and full releases basically throughout the year. So everybody can look forward to that because I'm trying to really be in front of the camera more as far as what I do. Like, you know what I mean? Like not
Yeah,
just post, just the album cover with music on it, but like really be performing different locations, get outside the house, shit like that, like
yeah.
just really give it to it, man. Everybody can look out for that, man. We here. We are
I
here.
like that. That's important, bro, because one, you're doing scheduling, which has always been very important. And,
Yeah, man.
letting your fans know, hey, I'm dropping this tonight, or just whatever, just whatever the hell it is. And
Hmm.
I look up to you, man. I want to thank you for coming on, sharing a little bit of your experiences. I'm sure a lot of the musicians out here are going to learn a thing or two from this conversation that we had. We'll close it out
Appreciate it, man.
here. I'm the real JTW.
Peace, man.
We out, yo.